I'd like to just kind of get into right now is the whole aspect of how, in my opinion, there were certain hip hop artists that really came to perform for the people. In my opinion, the thing that separated you was your work ethic on stage, from the other entertainers. I've never seen a guy like you that raps like you, that moves like you and Scoop and Scrap. Honestly, I've never really witnessed that. I don't really think that we'll see that again. I don't really think that we'll really see that again.
No.
I honestly think that what I saw was like a hip hop translation of what Jackie Wilson was doing. You know what I mean? Back in the day. I mean, that's just what it put me in the mind frame of. So could you talk about if in fact Teddy Riley had anything to do with turning that curve as far as you as an entertainer? Because truly something different happened, when you guys got together.
We did get the job done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They was with me since '87.
So what made you want to become that kind of entertainer? You know what I mean? Because it really set you apart, worlds apart from everybody else.
It did, man.
Yeah.
Well, like just touring with Biz, I understood how to structure a show, a stage show. And there's certain things you want to do to make it entertaining as opposed to just standing in one spot rapping.
Right. Right.
So, I was, trying to, figure out what worked best for me,
That's right.
Because Biz, his whole show was set up like, real comical.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a bunch of funny stuff happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not the direction I want to go. I got to figure out what works best for me.
Right.
And I would say that it all changed because I think, prior to that, when I first had out my single, Just Rhyming with Biz, it was the type of thing where I was really just trying to have what's the best way to, like, just a dynamic
a presence.
stage
with
energetic stage show.
Okay.
So then Dougie Fresh comes to one of my shows and he watches the show and we body it. After the show, Doug is talking to me saying, yo, when you was doing such and such, why you didn't keep on doing it? Why you didn't, you had them with the such and such. And I'm like sitting there like, oh, this dude's sitting there hating. And Doug says, yo, won't you come by the crib? So like 3 a.m, we go by Doug's crib and he pops out these videos of Earth, Wind and Fire, Michael Jackson, and Pink Floyd.
Wow.
And he's showing me these videos talking about, how everybody, like people in hip hop today are learning from the Furious Five, Run DMC. But he tried to incorporate elements from these artists here because hip hop ain't seen it yet.
Right.
And I'm like, So that next morning I went and bought a James Brown, Barry White, and a Marvin Gaye. I got they say DVD, VHS.
Yeah,
right. The 80s, VHS.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, and on the James Brown one, when I seen James do the split, and Bobby Bird pull him up by his hair.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, we got it.
Sold.
That's it. Yeah. So I told Scoop and Scrap, that's what we got to beat James Brown and the Famous Flames.
Wow, James Brown.
But pull me up by my shirt. Don't fuck with my hair.
Yeah.
I got a question. Look, writing for Biz, that's always been something that intrigued me. Biz being so outgoing, being so funny, you being so smooth and so lyrical. How did you make that conversion in your mind to be able to tap into Biz to where you can write stuff that really fit Biz?
It's like all I had to do was create the lyrics. Biz always knew what he wanted. Like Biz I want to do a song called Nobody Beats the Biz, and I'm gonna use the slogan from Nobody Beats the Wiz. But I want my style to be like this.
Okay.
That's how he come at me.
That's a good pattern. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Just putting it together. Like he already got the flow.
Right.
It's just, putting the actual words in.
Yeah, he
Like,
constructed
I
it.
want to do this joint called Picking Boogers. I don't know, just tell some sort of stories about, me picking boogers or picking
Yeah. Which was classic, by the
one
way.
big favor, somewhere in there, just say, hey, Ma, what's for dinner?
Go up your nose and pick a winner.
Yeah, just putting the words together.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Biz constructed it.
All right.
Well, hey, this is A Boogie. We actually took like a little poll, or not a poll, but we basically asked our viewers if they could ask you one question, what would it be? And I just wanted to read one actually that really did stand out to me. And this is from one of our viewers, and he asks, how did you handle the pressure of the label wanting you to rap for the ladies instead of just doing, you?
Good question.
That wasn't really a pressure. It was the type of thing where when I made Long Live the Cane, I couldn't really talk about nothing but what I saw.
Right.
So what I seen in the streets of Brooklyn, or maybe going to Camden, New Jersey, or New Haven, Connecticut with Biz Markie, that's all I have seen in my life,
Right. Yeah.
But then after releasing Long Live the Cane and touring the world, by the time, I made the second album, I realized that, I have male fans, I have female fans.
Yeah.
Right.
I have young fans, I have older fans.
Yeah.
I have Black, white, Latino, Asian fans.
Yeah.
So my music became more universal because I wanted to make it for everyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your favorite era of hip hop?
Rapping and party wise, the late 80s. Production wise, mid 90s.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
That's a good way to put it.
That's a good way to break it down.
Well, let me ask you a question, Kane. One thing that I've noticed is that the technical age has really somewhat condensed the generations together, and case in point, you are definitely one of the premier founders of where we are right now, still doing it. But at the same time, Kane just put out a record with Chuck D, and I believe it was his sister Tamika Mallory. I believe it was.
Well, we sampled Tamika's voice in the beginning.
Okay.
The
Enough record. Yeah, the Enough record, which I really enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for bringing Chuck. Thanks for bringing Chuck's voice back.
Yeah, really,
You know what I mean?
really.
That meant a lot to me. But as far as where hip hop is right now, and I've always looked at R&B as something that I've never had to retire from. And I was having a conversation with Jay-Z one night about the same thing, and he told me that he feels like this rap game is something that I don't ever have to retire from, in the same fashion that Frank Sinatra felt that way about what he's doing. So what I'm asking you is, do you think that culturally, we'll make a move towards what people would consider adult contemporary hip hop? You know what I mean? I mean, is there a place for that, do you think? I mean, what do you think about
absolutely a place for that. It's just that hip hop fans and hip hop publications have to respect it the same way that other music genres do.
Right.
Because only in hip hop do we call artists from a past generation old school.
Well, that's black. That's black music. Period. Yeah.
But I mean, they don't call Madonna old school pop artist.
No.
Right.
They don't call Bruce Springsteen an old school rock artist.
Right.
They don't even call Barrington Levy an old school reggae artist.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in hip hop, about 4 years old.
Yeah.
You a thing of the past. and it's like when you give these type of labels, it puts an expiration date
Right.
on the artist.
So what do you think? You know, I was having a conversation. And I'm not gonna say his name, but it's a young popular rapper from a group that we all love right now. And I was listening to him say something to one of the other artists that were there, and he started talking to him and referring to him as old nigga. You know what I mean? He literally started talking to him in that fashion.
Wow.
And I waited, and I literally waited until this cat went to the bar, and I followed him, and I went up behind him, and I told him, I said, "Hey man, do you know that all you're doing is just laying the train tracks for your very own exit?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's one thing the cats got to understand. To be an old nigga, that means that you live to become old.
Right.
So if you a young dude that's against old niggas, then you might as well kill yourself now.
For real.
That's
long as you keep living, you're gonna become an old nigga.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That's funny you say that. My mom, I was just saying this today. My mother says, you know, I don't understand why women never tell their age or are ashamed to tell their age. She said, don't you know the only way to slow down the aging process is to die?
That's it.
That's it.
Then you stop
That's
it
it.
permanently.
She said, look, you can go out there and tear your drawers if you want to. You'll be 19 forever.
Oh man.
Like her style. I like her style.
Real talk.